Okay guys, welcome back for another video on my channel. This is going to be a quick guide on how to fit a Blaster C tracer unit inside of a suppressor, more specifically the PTS Sandman. It is quite simple. First thing you're going to need to do is disassemble your tracer unit and your suppressor. So take the end off of your tracer unit, nice and simple. Okay, and then take the front off of your suppressor. One thing I would suggest for this is you're going to need to get like a little bag or something to put some parts in so you don't lose them. I actually take the original Blaster C box that I've got here, that I keep this stored in on the shelf and I'm not using it, and I actually stick all of the spare parts we get from this process in that box after I'm done, so I keep everything in one nice place, put that to the side. Once you get everything out, you then have your baffles that you need to get out of your suppressor unit. I'm actually going to use, I've got this wooden spoon. I'll just do this off show real quick. There we go. And then this will take all of your baffles out of it. Got a bunch of rubbish in the end of my suppressor there from the wooden spoon I used. And then you have everything fully disassembled and ready to go. So, first things first, let's talk about all the different parts so we know what we're doing and what we're messing with, because it's always dangerous to mess with things if you don't know what parts are. So, these are your baffles. Now, as far as the kind of airsoft suppressors go, most airsoft suppressors either have foam baffles or these plastic ones. These plastic baffles are great, not quite as good as some of the foam ones, but it enables you to take a little bit of the noise, especially out of any gas or HPA powered rifles. Doesn't do too much with AEGs because most of the noise comes from the gearbox and the motor. So we're going to pop these to one side. We don't need these at all for this because this suppressor will not fit in, this tracer unit will not fit in with these baffles in there. What you will need is the spring. What this spring normally does is that it makes sure that the baffles sit forward enough on the suppressor so that when you stick this onto the end of your muzzle kind of flash hider and lock it into place, that you don't end up smashing the plastic apart on the end of your flash hider if it's pushed down too low. So you want to stick this one back in, and this is where you have to kind of have a little bit of faith, because you might think it's as simple as sticking that in there, but as you can see, it is already not wanting to budge. Now, the reason why I say have faith is that when I first started trying to do this, this would not get past this point. It would just get stuck. But I found after giving it a bit of a wiggle backwards and forwards, the stars would align and you can start to push it down. Now, what I would probably do is have it like this and start giving it a bit of a wiggle before you push it down. What this is going to do is it's just going to kind of smooth down any rough surfaces inside of your suppressor, as well as your tracer unit. Now, this will leave some marks towards the end of your tracer unit. However, for me, I will not run this tracer unit outside of this suppressor. The only reason why I take this out is if I'm doing outside games during the day and I just want to be a bit quieter moving around, I stick the baffles back in and take this out. What I also suggest you do is do it in reverse too, where you stick the very end of your suppressor in the barrel too, because as you can see, it's even more snug. Now, what I said to people in our last video was that this is supposed to fit perfectly into this, because it's advertised as being, I believe, again, I'm going to say 30mm tracer unit, and this is advertised for taking 30mm tracer units. Now, after doing some measuring, this is the thing that's slightly out, not this. Okay, so PTS have done a good job. Unfortunately, Acetech, their tolerances are slightly out, and that's why the back end of the tracer unit fits in a lot easier than the front end. But you're just going to have to trust me here. The best thing for you to do is eventually, once you've kind of wiggled it around enough that it's not horribly stuck, you kind of just have to take a risk, take your thumbs, push it all in. Now, when I say take a risk, you're not actually taking a risk at all, because you might think, oh, Jesus, how do I get that now out of there? This is all in place snugly. Oh, dearie me, what have I done? I've lost my tracer unit inside of my suppressor. But that's actually not the case at all, because it can be removed quite easily. Now, the bonus is once it's all in there, it looks quite nice and snug now. You do actually have access to the button to turn the tracer unit on and off. What you can't do is charge the tracer unit while it's in there. Let me try and get a good angle because I don't know if this is going to focus well, but the USB port is slightly obscured by the walls of the spring of the suppressor. But you can get out quite easily, and the way you get out quite easily is by doing the same thing I did a minute ago, which is find something, preferably I would take a stick, something wooden. The reason being is that it's two metal rings and a plastic disc in between. So if you use something metal and you slip off of the metal rings on the back of the tracer unit, you might end up going into the plastic and smashing apart the back of the tracer unit, and I'm pretty sure they will not cover that damage-wise if you've got a warranty or anything like that. So I, again, just use a wooden spoon, okay? And then I'm just pushing on the back of it with a wooden spoon, and then it will literally, just to prove it's a wooden spoon, push on it at the back, and ta-da, you've got your tracer unit back out of the back, and as you can see, no damage to the back of the tracer unit. So like I said, preferably use something wooden. Don't use anything metal for this, because again, you're pushing on this metal ring here. You can push slightly on the springs, but you might bend it, so just be careful. Or you want to press directly on this ring here. You want to avoid pressing any buttons. You'll know if you press the button because it'll make a beeping sound at you. So that's kind of how I've been running it. I love the setup. I don't like the fact that the tolerances on this are a little bit too tight. I think with usage and time that will change. In my review for this unit, I have said that there are some things I would change about it. One of the things I didn't mention in my review is that I do feel like there are a lot of companies now coming out with trace units that can do red and green, but for some reason Acetech are a little bit behind the curve and they either do red or green currently, so it would be nice to see a trace unit that can do both. But hopefully that has been useful for you all. This is going to work with, again, I'm going to say 30mm. Any 30mm tracer units that are out there, and any suppressors that take 30mm tracer units. So hopefully that is useful for you all, and I will see you guys in the next one.